Hey everybody, Danny Ward here, thanks for joining us. This week I had Jim come and see me from Holland. He had a wicked slice on him and wasn't striking the ball as cleanly as he possibly could. And what I want to do in this week's training is if you've got a slice on you and you're looking to improve not only your ball striking, but get rid of that slice and possibly turn it into a draw, then this week's training I'm going to show you some before and after images of Jim's lesson on how he basically turned a swing that was very steep and across the line, and then coming across the line on the way through with chicken wings, face open, you name it. Now, lovely chap agreed to share this video with you, so I'm really pleased for that, so thanks for that, Jim. But it will really help you. So if you're a slicer and you're looking at improving that quality of the strike, maybe even turn it into a draw, then this training should really benefit you. So before we go ahead, if you're new to the channel and this is one of your first videos, consider subscribing. I release content like this every single week to try and help you improve your game. So let's get going. And if you have a quick look at Jim's video on screen here, you'll notice that what he tends to do very quickly is pick the club straight up in the air here, and as he comes down, he comes across the line of the golf ball here, the elbow comes out a little bit, the face is wide open, and this is really normal for people who are slicing the golf ball. So what did we do to get Jim basically in one session turning that slice into a draw? He'd never done it in his entire life, but we managed to, in that one session, turn it into a draw. Well, the problem is, what Jim was focusing on a hell of a lot was so many mechanics. Now, he knew as a slicer, the club needed to come down on the inside here, in this position here, as opposed to come over the top. So he'd been trying to get the club in position here and get it through. But his swing was becoming mechanical. He was finding that he had so many things going on in his head that it just got very confusing. So what we did was we basically gave him something really simple to think about, and I want to share that with you. So one of the problems with a lot of golfers is when they stood over the golf ball, they're getting so wrapped up in the mechanics of the game. They've got so many swing thoughts here. How do I take the club away? When I get here, I know I don't want to slice it. I don't want to come over the top, so I must take it on the inside. I need to swing into out, etc. How do you get your club coming on the inside, swinging into out to create that lovely draw on a regular basis? Let me show you. So here's what we did. I said to Jim, if you're going to play, what's the opposite to a slice? A hook, right? If you want to get yourself to stop slicing it, the first thing you've got to do, you need to move yourself out of the mindset of, I don't want to slice, I need to stop coming over the top. Instead, let's focus on the opposite. Let's focus on what you want to have happen. So I suggested to Jim, what I want you to do, Jim, is I want you to try to hook it, because that's so far away from where you are right now. If you were hooking the ball, the hooker would come into out too much and the club would wrap over. Well, if we could get somewhere close to that, you would make a substantial change and improvement in your golf swing. So the first thing I said to do is I want you to take your right hand, no golf clubs at this stage, and I want you to just get your right hand, and if you were to visualize a hook, what would it look like? It would set off to the right and it would curve round. So I want you to do this. Make a arm movement now and just imagine that ball curving, setting off to the right and curving around. So he started to create these shapes just with his arm, backwards and forwards. Now, when he did this initially, because he knew he had to swing this way, the arm was going a little bit low. So I said, we've got to link it to golf just a bit more. So remember that we've got to come down on the golf ball as we're doing this. So I said, right now, when you do this next time, still visualize the image out there, the ball setting off to the right, curving back, but remember you've got a golf ball to collect on the way. So we're going to swing, we're going to come down towards the golf ball, and we're going to create that curve. Down towards the golf ball and create that curve. So he's creating the shape. Would it make any sense if he was trying to start the ball out to the right and hook it? Would it make any sense to do this? I'm sure when you're watching this, it looks weird, doesn't it? You just wouldn't do it. And this is how simple it can really be. So I'll show you the images of Jim doing this. So as he's swinging backwards and forwards, you can see, have a look at them. Is he coming over the top now? Is it a steep backswing? No. Is he coming over the top? Absolutely not. We then moved him to the one-handed swing. So now we said, right, okay, let's keep that ball moving from right to left. Keep imagining it. Grip down the club now in your right hand. And now just imagine doing the same thing. Backwards and forwards, creating this shape. seeing the image out there and letting it drive the swing through here. The way I like to see, imagine this is this. I like to see like the target itself is like a magnet. It's drawing your swing out of you, okay? You aren't having to direct it all the time. That is the complex way of learning to swing a golf club. If you're stood there with a million and one things thinking about how you're going to play this, golf is too difficult. Let the target lead. So what do I mean by that? By having an image of what you're trying to do, my arm takes a line to the right hand side. Why? Because we want the ball set off to the right, and it also starts to turn through because we want it to do this. It's driving this motion. I'm not having to give it too many instructions. The same is true with this golf club. Swinging back, I'm just trying to get that feeling here. Now, I didn't get him to hit any golf balls one-handed. I just let him to get that feel. Then the second hand comes on, and we then start to hit a few shots. So I said, right now, just the same thing. Make a few swings now. Look and imagine the ball setting off to the right and drawing around. Just keep that feeling, that swing backwards and forwards, keeping that image in your mind, and the direction of the swing starts to get the ball moving. Now, Jim didn't suddenly turn into a wonderful drawer just after that one exercise, but what he did do was this. He tried his very, very best to get that draw, get that club swinging around here, keeping the image in his mind. But when he did this, the ball set off left of target. But he had the draw, not the draw, but he had the curvature right to left. So for you, if you're slicing it and you're struggling to strike the golf ball, one of the things that you've got to do, you've got to focus on a couple of things. You've got to make sure that, first of all, the club face is closing down to create that movement right to left, i.e. the opposite to a slice. And you've also got to get the club path, as opposed to coming this way, coming much, much more straight on. Now, Jim didn't get that straight away. He actually got the ball curving, which was great, tick in the box. But to get the ball turning, I said to him, look, don't think about swinging in to out for a second. Don't think about coming in here, which is what you needed to really do. Just imagine now you're going to try and hook the ball. So imagine now, look out there, let that lead. You're going to have to imagine the ball setting off further and further right, because he was trying to draw it, but that wasn't enough. Now he needed to imagine that he was really getting that ball setting off to the right and really hooking it. Well, as he did that, you'll see in a second from the video I'm going to show you, suddenly now his swing, even with his hybrid, started, you'll see a little even shallowing. Did I tell him to shallow the club out? Absolutely not. It naturally happened because he knew he needed to get the ball setting off to the right to hook it. In his mind, that's all he was focusing on, this shape. It's completely opposite to what he was doing, and therefore it created a completely opposite swing. It didn't create this swing, it created, as you can see from the video here, a swing that's coming much, much more on this position and then releasing. That is all we did to turn Jim's slice into a draw. Simple as that. And you'll see it on the video. So let me summarize. What have we done? If you're slicing it, one of the problems is you're probably stuck in a slicer's mentality. So what is a slicer's mentality? A slicer's mentality is somebody who's trying not to slice it. They're trying not to slice it. The trouble is down the right hand side. They're trying to avoid it as much as possible. So they aim left and they end up slicing it even more. Okay, so they're in the mindset of not slicing it. They're trying not to come over the top. So they're trying to focus on coming into these positions here. Very mechanical, and how to reproduce. How do you get out of that slicer mentality? Focus on what you want. Focus on trying to get the ball moving right to left, the complete opposite. You may not do it to start off with, but the mere fact that you're trying, it will create a completely opposite swing, a swing that heads in to out, creating a movement right to left through the air. Let's have one more look at this. Jim's over the top action with his intention now to start with his hand first, get a feel for this motion, then link it to the right hand, get a feel for this, then put two hands on, create the shape, and hey presto, we start to create that movement. I really hope you go and try this, because it is so simple to do, and it's much more natural approach to learning the game, and you won't have 1,000 swing thoughts going on in your head. So I really hope you do enjoy this video. If you do, and you think some of your friends might benefit from getting rid of their slice or improving their ball striking, please share it. And of course, look, if you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed already, consider subscribing. But until next week, Have a great golfing week.